Hi, Christina. Thanks so much for taking this opportunity to sit down with me and discuss some of the core pillar that is music at Spirit Alive as we reflect how our worship and our music and our band have shaped so much of who we are as a congregation that intentionally started with a different style of worship to where we are today. So thanks for coming. And just to get started, if you could introduce yourself and tell us how long you've been a part of Spirit Alive, how you got involved here, and how you got involved with the band.
Well, my name is Christina Oldani. I am the worship leader at Spirit Alive. I've been coming to Spirit Alive pretty much since the beginning. When Don kind of shared his story, that was kind of the same for me. I was at St. Mary's. I had been there forever, and I just come back from college, and I was looking for something just a little smaller. I heard Pastor Larry preach at St. Mary's, and we decided, my parents and I, we decided let's give that a shot. So we did. So we started Spirit Alive pretty early on in the Spirit Alive history. As far as when I joined the band, maybe about a year in, as I was, attending, and Pastor Larry got wind of, I play the violin. So he was kind of pivotal in getting me to share that gift at Spirit Alive. So about a year in is when I started playing the violin only, and then kind of branched out into piano, and then started leading some things. So it's been a while.
Wow. What made you, besides Pastor Larry just twisting your arm behind your back and getting you into the band, what made you want to do that? Why share that gift?
Well, I love music. It's more, and it was more of a hobby for me when I first started out, because when I was deciding what to do with a career, I was like, well, I really like music, but I really like teaching. So I went into teaching, and I thought, well, this is the way for me to still play music and play with people that I really love. So that's how I started playing at the beginning, and then I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with the people in the band, the music that we play, and I've been playing ever since.
Now, when Spirit Alive started, it started as a contemporary only congregation. No hymns, no hymnals, no organ in the background. Why was that important to you? Or maybe if you even can say why it was important to the beginning of the church. I'd be curious to just hear why. Why go that way when so many Lutheran tradition churches are so tied to the old hymnals?
For me, it's more about relevance with the music, and I mean in the words, because sometimes in the hymns that I would remember singing, I don't actually remember what they meant, because some of the words it's older and not something that is kind of in my brain every day. So when I heard this music, I'm like, oh, that has a message that speaks to me, and that is relevant to my life. I felt that. So that is what made it kind of more of a draw for me in that type of music. And the instrumentals with the contemporary style music. So being an instrumentalist myself, that usually catches my ear first, is what's going on with the instruments. What is that making me feel? So that's not just the words itself, but those instruments, the different kinds of combinations that you can do, instead of just, an organ or a piano, that all of that together is really fun for me.
Great. It sounds to me like music is kind of a core piece of your faith. Is that true? And would you be willing to say a little bit more why it's so important to your faith life?
When we're playing a song, and I'm usually singing at the same time, it really feels like I'm talking to God when we're playing some of these songs. And sometimes it's a celebration and it feels like a celebration. Sometimes it feels like it feels a little more troubled, or it feels like a prayer. So for me, I feel God's presence when we're playing these songs. And I've noticed since we've been at home and we've been worshiping at home, sometimes I'm not singing with the songs as we're live streaming or something, but I've noticed when I'm like cleaning the house, I'll have my AirPods on and I'm playing that contemporary worship music while I'm cleaning the house, and I start to sing, and all of a sudden, like, my heart is full again. I feel like less empty, because that is so important in as far as my faith life goes, and it's something I've been missing really since we've not been worshiping in one place together.
Absolutely. Now, you didn't start out as the worship director, band leader extraordinaire that you are. You started out just playing violin and then slowly moved into that role. Can you say how you got there for us?
Well, so Pastor Larry's wife, Lucinda, was the leader of our band for the longest time when we started. And then when he took a call somewhere else, of course, he took her with them. It was kind of a disappointment to us. But at that point, we were just in need of somebody to pick songs and make a schedule. I said, I can do that. So that's where I started. It just starts, I can just pick songs and make a schedule. And then over time, it became more of a leadership role. And then Spirit Alive kind of made that more of an actual position that I just assumed.
You assumed, yeah.
I guess.
I mean, it's great to assume roles, but maybe not. I'm curious, in this role, you have a very public face because you are the leader of the band. What kind of effect do you see the music of Spirit Alive having on congregants? What do people say to you? Like, how do they come to you with, like, oh, this song was amazing? Or do you even see that it's moving our congregation sometimes?
I can usually tell the first time we do a new song if that's going to be a keeper or not. One, because I see people singing or I hear people singing. And two, just if I look out while we're all worshiping and I can see people worshiping, even if they're not singing, I know that's going to be a song that we keep. But sometimes people do say, I get feedback. I love that song. Christina, I didn't like that. It was a dud. I do get that. I get song suggestions, so I welcome that. So people do give me feedback on what we're singing, but I can feel in the room when a song is really working and when it's not.
What do you hope when you pick a song, or like as you're kind of figuring out the music side of our worship service, what are you hoping it will do for the people of our congregation?
When I look with songs, or when I'm planning songs in the worship, what I'm looking for is really people using that song to deepen their relationship to God, just be in worship together in one space, but really bringing people to God. That is my goal with these songs. There's lots of things that go into, things are singable or playable by our band, because that shifts too. But really, I'm looking to make a worshipful space using the songs. And if people can't worship through a certain song, it's not even useful to sing that song in a worship space.
Great, yeah. I want to ask you a question about the band. You since you've been part of the band through its many iterations at this point, could you tell us a little bit, give us a sneak peek inside, like, how would you describe what the band even is to someone who doesn't know how you guys, is it just a bunch of people who get together and play songs? Is it something more than that? Just give us a sneak peek into what the band really is.
I feel like when I started, it was people just getting together and playing songs. I think we've grown over the course of the last, 10 years, that we're more of a small group now. And now that we're a pretty small group at this point, and we've had a lot of ups and downs. And now, because of that, we're really a family. The band, we like to do things outside of just playing music together. We like to get together and just be with each other and enjoy each other's company. So not just, we do love getting together and just playing music, but the fact that we're a family and we take care of each other, we lean on each other, we support each other, that's what really makes us a small group rather than just a band.
Yeah, that deeper connection, right? You're not just musicians who get together and can play a song well and play it tight, but like who actually have feeling for one another and care for one another. It's something I've certainly witnessed in my short time here as the pastor, just this passion, not just for the music, but for one another's health and vitality and everything that goes with that. It's pretty awe-inspiring. It's not just, random players. Christina, I'm curious, in your time, how have you seen the music of Spirit Alive shift and transform over the years to what it is today?
When we started, I think we were always looking at contemporary music, like what was going on in the contemporary music world. If you look back into what songs we played 20 years ago, it was, a lot of Hillsong and things that were pretty popular, and it's morphed. We went into like a big phase. We had a lot of people in the band and our songs were big and lots of percussion. And then our band got a little smaller and our songs kind of morphed into that even. So the carefully crafted instrumental parts, or not as big. It's more of like an intimate feeling of the music that we try to choose now. But it definitely goes in cycles based on, who we have singing and leading our songs, and the instruments that we have through the years has changed a lot. So that really drives what music that we play.
Could you tell us, is there one part of worship that you have? You've told me a lot about different parts of the history of the band, and I've seen photos of like parades and festivals and bike blessing playing outdoors and worship playing. Is there one thing that you have really, really loved more than anything else? We love them all, but one thing that you've really loved that you would love to see us do again as a band?
I really love our nights of worship that we do jointly with the other churches in town. Those are amazing. And the fact that we can be a big group, we can have people from a few different bands around Kenosha join us. I absolutely love that. And we have people from different congregations or people who don't have a church family coming to these, and it benefits the outreach center. So I will love to pick that back up when we can go back into normal world again. But those are, every single one of them is meaningful. I hope that people who come to worship feel God's presence there, but I know I do, even just rehearsing for those. It's such a wonderful event to take part in.
Yeah, it's getting to witness one in the winter of 2019 when I first got here. I was like, holy cow, this is the next level. Like, it was just amazing to see the energy that you were playing with, and our band, and with the conjunction of musicians from St. Mary's and from other churches. It's just so much fun because you could see that you all were enjoying praising God in a much more expanded way and giving that gift out to the community. And seeing our community respond to that was just phenomenal. People from all different churches gathering together to worship God and to support the ELCA Outreach Center, which is a phenomenal partner in ministry to have here in Kenosha. Christina, in the next kind of few years, what do you hope for is the future of Spirit Alive around music, around our worship experience? What do you hope to see in the next few years?
Well, I hope we always try to we always keep like an open mind. I don't ever want to get stuck in, well, this is the way we do it, so this is the way we're always going to do it. I just really want us to always be looking for, well, what are those great ideas out there? What can we try? I love that our church always wants to try new things. They don't get mad if I throw in a song that's didn't work. Nobody's like, hey, gets mad at me for that. But I just love that we can just keep trying different things. I would love to bring more people into the band, maybe in whatever capacity they people have gifts for, but certainly singing and instruments. And maybe there's, maybe we can make this bigger than what it is now.
Yeah. Are there different like big dream aspirations you have for our church just at large, not just the worshiping, but just for our church that you would like to share too?
Well, of course, I always want growth. I mean, I guess I just always think growth means better, and not certain that's really the case, but I just want to make it our mission to reach as many people as we possibly can. And I think the band is one way that we could probably do that. We have some gifts to share, and if we could share that besides just on a Sunday morning, just bringing that out to people, I think just expanding what we do beyond our church walls. I would love to see us having some of our own space at some point. We've just been shared space since we've been Spirit Alive. I've gone through years of packing things up and taking things out every Sunday. It just something that feels like this is Spirit Alive. This is where we're supposed to be. I think we'll get there. I mean, we have such a good space right now. And I just think, what more could we do if we had a different space? What could the band bring to the picture somewhere else?
Yeah, something I think that we as a congregation are going to be wrestling with in the next couple of years, especially starting this fall, is who's God calling us to be? And I think that will be an integral part of the conversation. If our mission is to grow and reach people, where can we do that best and how to do it? And I certainly believe wholeheartedly that music and our worship is one way that we can attach and bring people in and have people experience the love and grace of Christ Jesus. Christina, I don't have any more questions for you. Is there anything else you want to say before we sign off from our interview and get back to the rest of our worship today?
Not much. I just said I miss everybody. I am looking forward to seeing everybody again, either in the parking lot or outside in a park or in the sanctuary. So something to look forward to.
I want to say a big thank you, not just to Christina, but to the whole band throughout this entire pandemic, as we've had to wrestle with how to worship safely and moving of sound equipment from one end of the church to the other and back again, and rearranging sanctuaries at the last minute and figuring out cameras and figuring out live stream. Just thanks to Christina and the rest of the band, because they have been flexible and they have been so hungry to be able to continue to share the gift of music that has moved our hearts so much as a church for the last 20 years and will continue into the future of our congregation. So thank you, Christina, for always being spearheading that and flexible and being willing to continue to offer your gifts even in these incredibly, incredibly difficult times. Praying that it will be easier times relatively soon. Yeah. And we look forward to the future. We're going to invest some more in our sound equipment coming up. We want to be able to have some outdoor worship and mobile worship setups that we can use. And so we're excited to start looking into that and as another way, not just in pandemic, but even post-pandemic, that we as a congregation can bring our gifts of music and worship to wherever we need to be. So there's a lot on the horizon, and I am thankful as the pastor of Spirit Alive to have someone like you, Christina, who I can bounce crazy ideas off of and have your honesty of that's just insane, or that's a really good idea and we should pursue it. So thank you, Christina, for all you do for Spirit Alive. And of course, for this very specific interview and talking about music and our worship life as a church.
It was my pleasure, and thank you for everything you do. You are amazing, and you are a gift to us, and I don't know where we'd be without you.
Thank you. Thanks.